All right. Joining me now is the great Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville and a dear friend. I'm sorry for all the rock and roll music.
It sounds like me standing on the sideline in front of 100,000 people, Larry. That's very good. I couldn't have done that. It's hard to think.
Yes, you could. You could have done it. I just want to ask you to begin. This whole story is providential by the grace of God. And I think that, as I said at the end of this riff, God's chosen person. What do you make of this, Senator Tuberville?
I talked to the president this morning about 7 o'clock, 7:15. He was still up. He's one of those, it doesn't sleep very much.
Oh, I know.
A couple hours a night. You could tell it was a little different. He said, Coach, it was close. I said, yes, sir, I know it was. When I saw it on television, I got emotional. I'm thinking, and you think the worst, unfortunately. But he told me, he lost part of his ear. He can't come any closer without having massive damage. So he knows, by the grace of God, as you said, that he's with us today. And so we're thankful for that. He's through it, and I think it brought something to him. A little bit more energy, positive side. He sees the good side of the country. He's always done that, but he sees the good side of the country, I think, even a little more.
I saw it over 40 years ago with Reagan, who was hit. Reagan was hit in the chest. We learned later he was very close to death. Like Trump, in a way, it was millimeters and inches. It changed Reagan. And Reagan went for unity. Reagan decided he ought to negotiate for Soviet communism and world peace. He didn't give up his principles, but it affected him. I have not had a chance to talk to the president. I did talk to Jared Kushner's son-in-law, who's a dear friend. But I think it may change Mr. Trump, and it is reported that he has rewritten his platform speech. Unity, success and unity is the best revenge. I think he knows that. He started that theme. We'll probably hear more of that in the Supreme Court.
Oh, yeah. I hope he shows up today.
Yeah, me too.
There's a chance, I think, he might be here today. But, people that don't know President Trump like you and I, he's a very compassionate person.
Yes.
Cares a lot about other people.
Yes.
He talked more about the person that got killed behind him and the people that were injured than he did himself.
Right.
And people need to understand that there were collateral damage there. I mean, and that can really take the wind out of you too. It was meant for you, but somebody else took the blow there. But he's handled it like he should. He, again, is very compassionate. But I'm anxious to see how he handles it for the next few weeks, because I can't imagine, a bullet going beside my head, and knowing that it could have gone either way.
One of the news reports was he was playing some golf today. I can't confirm that, but that was one of the news reports. Senator Tuberville, let me ask you quickly, J.D. Vance going to be the vice presidential nominee. What you think?
Good friend.
Yeah.
President and I talked about it this morning. He had 4 or 5 good people. We've got a very deep bench, Larry, very deep bench, and a lot of young guys. J.D.'s a young guy. I've only known him for a year and a half now, being in the Senate. We're going to miss him. We're going to miss him in the Senate. He and I have been in the trenches together. He works very hard. He's a hard worker like President Trump, but he thinks a lot like President Trump. And so I think it's a very good pick. I don't think anybody picks really going to help President Trump in terms of the election. He's going to get his votes, but I think for the future of our country, J.D. is a young star on the rise.
How about today? The theme tonight, it's easy to overlook, but I don't want to overlook it. The theme is wealth and the economy. I call it American abundance, which I think is the story of this country in the main. Trump's platform was the growthiest I've seen since Reagan. What you make of that?
Yeah, exactly. Right now, this Democratic administration is printing $80,000 a second.
Wow.
And that's how they're pumping up the economy. President Trump's always told me, Coach, the only way we can pay down our debt, only way we can pay it down is grow this country. We got to bring more manufacturing in, more people make more money, pay more taxes that way. And there's no other way. We can try to trick everybody about how this is going to happen and bring this debt down like it's got to. But at the end of the day, our country's got to start growing again.
The difference between growthy on the Trump side, which will give a pay raise, take-home pay increase to the middle-class working folks, and Joe Biden's Bernie Sanders socialism on the other side, which is giving people a pay cut and a 20% increase in the cost of living. The difference couldn't be greater.
Oh, yeah. Larry, since World War II, this country was built on hard work of the American people, your grandfather and all of them.
Yes.
But it was done with cheap energy. We can't have $80, $90 barrel of oil. We can't do it. We can't build it back. We've got to have cheap energy. We got to forget this foolishness about EV. Now, hey, if you want an EV car, fine, but oil and gas is the future for this country.
No subsidies for EV. You want an EV? You're right.
Exactly.
Fine. But why does Uncle Sam why did middle class folks have to subsidize EVs for rich folks?
Yeah, don't tell people what to do. Give them an option. But we've got to have cheap oil and gas.
You've been in the Senate how long?
This is my 4th year.
You have become a great leader in the Senate. You know that, don't you?
Well,
you have become a great leader in the Senate.
Well,
in fact, when you spoke for the Alabama delegation, you almost could have heard a pin drop. People wanted to hear everything you said.
Well, I can't say it's fun, Larry. I enjoy the competition, but I just want more and more people to understand there's no other country. We have no other place to go. We've got to save this country. There's no other country we can run to and say, this is where we want to go. This is our country. This is where we want to be. And the American people have to stand up in November and say, enough's enough. Let's go back to our Constitution and start believing in an American worker.
Yes, sir. By the grace of God, Tommy Tuberville, I just want to say that you have been a great friend to this show, and you have been a great personal friend to me, and you are a mentor to almost everybody that knows you. Once again, Senator Tommy Tuberville, thank you.
Thank you, Larry.